Let's go straight across to India. Today is Ashraf Wani, our Jammu and Kashmir Bureau Chief, also Pooja Shalli, who's been reporting from Jammu and Kashmir and Srinagar since early this morning. Ashraf, quickly coming to you first, how would you assess, today's visit by the Prime Minister? The usual politics obviously did play out, Ashraf, but overall, was it a successful visit in your opinion?
Yes, absolutely. It was a successful because it was the historic in itself. Basically, there were so many perceptions, theories, and analysis when Article 37 was abrogated 5 years back on 5th of August 2019, that probably the Kashmir will go to the worse than better. But Prime Minister himself has proved that his decision was to some extent right. At least the people of Kashmir since last few years feel safe, and that is why the crowd gathered there. There is no doubt that any party which is in the power, they manage and utilize the government machinery. Same was done in this rally. But despite all these odds, there was excitement among the people. What we have seen to listen Prime Minister and the way he make his speech with the things, with the thoughts of the Kashmiri people, that matters a lot. So we can say that it was a successful rally by the Prime Minister, and to some extent he has achieved to win the hearts of the people here in the Kashmir Valley.
Okay, very, very interesting to hear that both Ashraf and Pooja were reporting on that big rally by the Prime Minister. Pooja, you've been out and about since last night and early this morning. It means a lot to you as well. We saw that moment when you got a little emotional this morning. Very understandable, since you're reporting from Kashmir. But, you've been interacting with the residents, the citizenry since this morning. We've heard all the politics about paid crowds and things like that. But what's it been like? What's the mood? What's the sentiment, which can't be faked?
Shiv, it was a sight to see. Anyone who's known Kashmir will tell you that to hold in your hand the tricolour without fear, without favour, to speak on camera, to reveal your identity, not put a mask on your face, was a big deal. It's a big change for people who understand that. To be in a public rally shouting slogans for BJP or Modi, but as much for India with the tricolour, with artisans who came from Uri, Bandipura, making hand-woven Kashmiri craft with the tricolour, with the India map, with Jammu Kashmir as the focus, clearly showed that, there was an approval that has come from the people. And I can tell you this, behind me is the Lal Chowk, which has seen the bad, the ugly, and possibly now here on the good as well for Kashmir. This is a smart city project now for Srinagar. A lot is changing. And for someone who's witnessed that, most Kashmiris will tell you that they thought that Kashmir is a lost case, that you cannot come back from that. To even see slight hope, to see people giving that approval, Shiv, knows one thing. And I'll just say this here for clarity, that, yes, there is change. It does not mean everything is normal. I wouldn't say that either. There are still, for example, Kashmiri pandits being targeted. There is a situation tension on ground. But the peace change initiative, Shiv, that I have seen now in Kashmir, if it goes here on to continue, Kashmir has so many opportunities and landmark and benchmarks to cross, and I hope that happens.
And I noticed, Pooja, right through the rally this morning, you were speaking to a lot of young people, young Kashmiris, aspirational, the aspirational class, looking for a change. These are people who were not even born probably, when the trouble began in the valley. What were they saying? Like I said, there will always be the whiners and the sulkers who will, say कि paid crowds हैं, इनको लाया गया है, इनको force किया गया है. But, you're a journalist, you're there in person. What was that sense you got when you were speaking to them?
Shiv, I met one young boy from Uri, and we all know and remember the Uri attack. He would probably be in his early 20s. He got associated with the Bharatiya Janata Party, and he told me off camera that when he decided to align with the BJP, he was threatened with death. He had to leave his house. It wasn't easy, and yet these young men and women thought this is the right change. And the older generation said that we have given the chance to the National Conference and the PDP, but over the years they did realize that it was not helping the situation at all. It was not helping anybody's life, probably but their own as politicians. And that is why many of them, Shiv, today may have been flaunting on camera, but they have gone through a rigorous process of facing threats, overcoming that, standing by their belief that this new party, this new leader means change. And what we see today is a joint approval. It will take time. It will take time, perhaps next 5 to 10 years. And very interestingly, Prime Minister said that, Shiv. Prime Minister said that I want to win your hearts. I will continue to work for it. And for the next 5 years, I assure you there will be more growth in Kashmir. So he knew likely not to only boast about the changes in Kashmir, but also to tell him there is much more that we are planning for the Kashmir Valley. So that's a good question that you asked, because many of these youngsters and even the older generation took a lot of risks to take this chance, give that trust to BJP and Prime Minister Modi. And that perhaps is reflective of how even people and the government need to work together for a better Naya Kashmir.
Very much enjoyed your reporting from there, Pooja. And don't miss, viewers, that Pooja will be reporting and anchoring, in fact, from the Dal Lake. Her India First special episode goes on air live from the Dal Lake at 10 p.m. today. So don't miss that. All of their reports will be there to give you the day's proceedings.